Good morning, students. Let's begin our history class. Today I am going to explain the second video, NCERT book, Themes in World History, Chapter 2, Writing and City Life. And topic covered in this video is number 1, the significance of urbanization, along with the caption, the work ahead, movement of goods into cities and development of writing. Let's start. The significance of urbanization, main feature given over there, as you can use it in your notes. Cities and towns are not just places with large population. Urban economy comprises, beside food production, trade, manufacturing and services, the division of labor is a mark of city life. Now see the illustration. Urban center involved in various economic activities such as food production, trade, manufacturers and services. So these are the main activities in which urban centers involve. City people thus cease to be self-sufficient and depend on the products or services of other people. There is continuous interaction among them because farmer um, need the help of trading, and that the manufacturer need the services of transportation. So means each every person in the city area interlink with each other. So this is how the urban centers grew in the time of early civilization. Now the second picture give you the reminder, like example of division of labor, like each person depend on the other person work. For example, carver cannot make bronze tool or colored stone. Carver only produce a sculpture or the other carving thing. So what requirement of the carver and bronze tool maker, this we are going to discuss. For instance, the carver of a stone seal requires bronze tools that he himself cannot make, and colored stone for the seal that he does not know where to get. So carver require whatever thing he need to depend on other. He depends on other for his needs. The division of labor is mark of urban life. Ki one person good enough to making something, but to make that thing he require the help of other people. So this is the division of labor in a mark on urban life. Now there must be a social organization in place. For example, village, those who are doing cultivation, and then they need storage of this, and further they distribute these storage material of food production. So there is a need to coordinate different activities, keeping of written record, that is also required to maintain trading activities. So illustration, there must be a social organization in cities. Fuel, metal, various stone, wood, etc. come from many different places for city manufacturers. Thus, organized trade, storage, deliveries of grain and other food items from the village to the city were controlled and supervised by the rulers. Now we are going to see the movement of goods into cities and communication. Mesopotamia was rich in food resources, but its mineral resources were few. Most part of the south lacked stone for tools, steel and jewels, the wood for carts, cart wheels or bows, and there was no matter for tools, vessels or ornament. Here we are going to discuss that the Mesopotamia good for food resources but lack of mineral resources, like the stone tools, stones, tools, seals and jewels. So in ancient Mesopotamia could have traded their abundant textile and agriculture produce to get things from other places. So they traded with the abundant textile and agriculture produce for wood, copper, tin, silver, gold, shell, and various stones from which place? Turkey and Iran or across the Gulf. So they give something to other and they take back to in their country. So this is export and import generate activity, which is nowadays used by the urban centers. Regular exchange was possible only when there was a social organization to equip foreign expedition and exchange of goods. Someone is required to balance these trading activity, what we need to supply and what we need to get. So this is how the things must be there. Beside crafts, trade, and services, efficient transport is also important for urban development. To carry grain into cities, pack animal were used. So it is very complicated if you use animal. You use lot of time to carry forward one place to another place. Think about today, if you take any bullock cart from Udaipur and you travel to the Jaipur through bullock cart with the grains or something, how long you travel, and the climatic condition also. Then you have to feed your this what you call cattle. So this is what some general basic problem come across while the traders carry things on animals. The cheapest mode of transportation is over water. As I earlier told you, there were two major rivers which is flowing across to the Mesopotamia region. River boats or barges loaded with sacks of grain are propelled by the current of the river. The canals and the natural channels of ancient Mesopotamia were in fact routes of good transport between large and small settlement. So major transportation of the trading activity based on water. The development of writing in Mesopotamia, as the food requirement fulfill, then trading is start, then communication, how they maintain all record. So writing is required over there, but it's not writing like today we start writing and texting messages to each other. That is different. How we are going to see. All societies have languages. I already told you they use Akkadian, then Hebrews or other languages. So all society have languages in which spoken sounds convey certain meanings. This is verbal communication. Writing too is a verbal communication, but in a different way. The first Mesopotamian tablets were written around 3200 BCE, which contain picture. This picture is given in your book. Kindly go through with the topic, the development of writing, both the pictures given over there. These are the cuneiform Slavic signs, that is uh, carved on the wet soil. How they do this, we are going to discuss. See the picture of cuneiform signs: ox, grain, fish, numbers, and boat. You can easily visualize in your book under the heading. And then uh, the first Mesopotamian The first Mesopotamian tablets were written around 3200 BCE, which contained picture like sign and numbers. These were about 500 lists of oxen, fish, bread, loaves, etc. Lists of goods that were brought into or distributed from temples of Uruk. Mesopotamians wrote on tablets of clay. Please remember, this whole paragraph is important for a short question answer. They wrote on clay. A scribe would wet clay and pat it into a size he could hold comfortable in one hand. He would carefully smoothen its surface. With the sharp end of a reed, he would press wedge shaped cuneiform sign onto the smoothened surface while it was still moist. Afterward, once dried in the sun, the clay tablet would harden and tablet would be almost as indestructible as pottery. Once the surface dried, sign could not be pressed onto a tablet. So each transaction, however minor, required a separate written tablets. By 2600 BCE, the letters became cuneiform and the language was Sumerian. Writing was now used not only for keeping records but also for making dictionaries, giving legal validity to land, है ना, and the land transfers, narrating the deeds of kings, and announcing the changes a king had made in customary laws of land. So these records now kept in the form of cuneiform tablets in Sumerian language. And what are the records which is keeping in this form? All these headings are important. Write it down in the form of questions, or prepare it for the 1 mark question. Sumerian, the earliest language of Mesopotamia, was gradually replaced after 2400 BC by the Akkadian language. Cuneiform writing in the Akkadian language continued in use until the 1st century CE. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.